Alright, let's get started. Hello everyone, my name is Shoot. This is going to be a complete guide to using Cruiser on Adamance. I am using Imperium to help show this off because the spawns get a little ridiculous outside past like 1 p.m. and it makes doing this type of video very painful. But also because I don't have a Cruiser on this save, so I have to spawn it in. I know what you're thinking to yourself, shoot, why would I want to use Cruiser on Adamance? That sounds like a terrible idea. And I get that. Well, there's two main reasons. One is because it's the best free moon in terms of loot, and two is if you're doing a Adamance only high quota run, like I've been trying to. In which case, knowing some of these tricks is very helpful. We have gotten to a point, thankfully, in the community, where people have come to realize the value of the Cruiser, especially when it comes to getting every item on a map. And in solo, it's also really good because it saves you so much time taking stuff back. This video will show off a couple tricks that I've already shown and a trick that I have not shown before, which I just found recently. So first step, turn on magnet. You really want that, or you're going to have a bad time coming up. Normally you would just turn it off and then drive the Cruiser over here, but I have to do it this way because I don't have it already. I am only using instant ignition and turbos. Don't worry, I'll only be using 5 max per boost because that's the max you can hold at once. This is just saving me time, but there's no indestructible, so don't worry about that. You're going to just drive on over, pull up to the right of this little hill, and you're going to kind of line up in this general area. Now the lineup is not that exact, if at all. I, if anything, will use the edge of the windshield on the right to line up with the top edge of the roof on the facility. And that's kind of what I'll do. And then we're just going to do 3 boosts to the right, spaced out, and then 2 boosts to the left with A at the end to counteract our speed and survive the fall. This is a pretty consistent boost, so I don't think you should have too much issue with it. Now, there's 2 main results that you can get with this. One is this one, where you get the perfect result. There's no damage taken, there's no damage felt to the Cruiser or the player. The other result is where you'll hit like a rock, or you'll go too far and hit the side, in which case you'll take about 30 damage, and the Cruiser will take like between 10 and 40% health. That result is not ideal, but it's still more than reasonable. 30 damage can be dealt with fine, as long as you don't do anything too stupid. Once that happens, I like to pull up next to the tree or directly through it. I park and I go inside main until about 12 p.m. Generally, outdoor spawns get pretty crazy about 1 to 3 p.m. and beyond, so you don't want to play main for too long. Just enough time to get to the dead ends, and maybe a room or 2 in tunnel network. Once that happens, you're going to drive over to fire. Now the slant of this terrain is kind of awkward. You don't want to go too fast or you'll die because of the weird physics when you're sideways, but too slow and you'll get kind of stuck. Being stuck isn't a bad thing because you can just push your way through outside the Cruiser, but it's a small time loss. So don't stress too much. Like here, I think we're a little stuck, so that's fine. Or should I get out and push from this side? Hold on, we're almost there. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, let's see if, oh. Might be good. What the heck? Come on. Nice. There we go. So once you made it over to fire, sometimes it goes perfectly, sometimes it doesn't. You'll play fire the rest of the day. Now, once you hit a time you're comfortable with, this could be 10 p.m., this could be 9. I would say 9 is a pretty safe bet. Maybe 10 if you're feeling more confident. But once you hit your limit, you're going to come forward. You can do a boost down to the bottom if you'd like. That might be better off overall, but I am more about consistency. I don't like the trees being there because you can hit them and kind of bounce off them at weird angles. And if you're at low health anyways, then you risk dying because of some weird rock or other spawn. So just kind of carefully slide off the edge. You can hold S as you go to help keep yourself still. It works surprisingly well. And then you'll just gently roll down. Once you do this, just get out and fix the cruiser. I want to try that. And we're about to do the bigger skip. We're on a rock. That's okay though. Glorious rocks. There we go. Break the tree. We're going to kind of reverse until we're roughly head on with these rocks over here. These are consistent spawns. And we're going to use the top left corner of the windshield to line up with the edge of the hill up top. So we're a little off on the angle. There we go. That's good. And then we're going to do one boost straight up, and then 3 boosts with A and W held, and that's going to be it. So and just like that. You get high enough up that you should avoid any dogs or giants or old birds, but you make it just far enough to hit the magnet as you need to. It's a pretty good lineup. Again, just kind of pull straight up onto that rock on the left, so you're kind of facing it head on. Line up with the edge. Line up the top left edge of the windshield with the edge of the hill, and then do a boost up and 3 boosts up and to the left. The timing of the boost does matter. I'd say the more practice you get, the better. But overall, it's very consistent. I've been doing it for quite a while in testing. Now, as far as other tricks and small issues with Cruiser on Adamance, if you don't feel comfortable doing those kinds of tricks, the oldest video I've ever uploaded for Cruiser was actually just doing a jump over in this crevice to get to fire. It's essentially the reverse of what you saw earlier. We're just going to bumble our way down to the bottom and then do a boost up and over to fire. And then we just play fire the whole day without worrying about main. That is a very safe strat. I have never died really doing that as far as cruiser deaths go, so that is an option. On eclipse days, I wouldn't take cruiser at all. I would just go on foot across fire or maybe across main. Maybe grab a beehive close by if you can. And on foggy days, I would also say that you should probably go on foot or use jetpack if you have jetpack. Main reason is because you just don't have any of your markers for your lineups. You could probably get away with doing this one, but it's going to be really hard to see. And for the boost from the crevasse, it's going to be even worse because you won't be able to see the hill from down at the bottom. And that jump is more specific and more finicky than you realize. I've messed with different lineups for it and different positionings, and it's pretty rough. One of the biggest issues you'll have if you're trying your own lineup is death by crushing. It seems that if you do a boost at the end to get onto magnet, as you get on the magnet and the boost going at the same time, you'll just die to crushing. So you kind of have to have the lineup perfect to begin with, otherwise you'll just die due to the game's physics. And then there is one other exception you might encounter. It didn't happen on this one, but on rare occasions, you can have a tree spawn up here along the edge. I've had it over here. I've had one over here. They do happen on occasion. If you try the jump with the tree in place, you will just bounce off the tree and land down below. Because trees are 0 damage collision, you won't die from the tree, and it will kind of reset your momentum overall. I have not died from a tree before, but it will mean that you'll have to drive up this little hill to get to the top. And driving to the top is not that bad, even with rocks in the way. Just to keep in mind. Though, if you see a tree here and you don't feel comfortable with it, you can just do the other jump over by fire, as I was talking about. Regardless, that is all I have to show for Adamance Cruiser. If you have any questions, let me know down below. This is going to be the main way that I will be using Cruiser on Adamance for my upcoming attempts moving forward. So, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.